ini ya? Cambodia. Ndi waggulu mu bbanga Phuket
live. Lugogo. Check one. Check one.
Welcome to day one of the Ladies Elite League. We are live here from the Lugogo Cricket Oval, and the Titans are taking on the Thunder Cricket Club. Very, very good day to play cricket. Looked gloomy in the morning, but right out. It's the first day of this tournament, and it's going to be happening for the next 3 days here at the Lugogo Cricket Oval and also at Chambogo Cricket Oval. At the Chambogo Cricket Oval, the other two franchise teams in this tournament, there are 4 franchise teams taking part in this tournament. Northern Knights is taking on Aziz Damani Hurricanes, while here Titans Cricket Club is taking on the Thunder. Stefani Nampina bowling from the Ginger Road end. The Thunder Titans Cricket Club won the toss and elected to bat first, and they are 53 for 2 in 10 overs. Not a bad strike rate, and already showing a lot of improvement. Last year, this Elite League was played just after the lockdown, and some of the ladies, the scores in the tournament was very low, but so far we already have 53 runs in 10 overs, which is a very good sign. And also, they have 4 teams compared to 2 teams last year. A lot of growth and a lot of work there from Uganda Cricket Association and their team to make sure that the ladies game is growing in the country. 13 players in each side, in each of the franchise teams. That's a total of about, if my math is correct, about 50 players, 50 girls taking part in this tournament. These 50 girls were selected from the just concluded National T20 Ladies Tournament. So it is the best against the best, and it should be very, very good. And I'm meant to understand that from this tournament, they will be selecting those players that will form the core of the Victoria Pals side for next year. Titans Cricket Club today has Rachel Ntono, Shakira Sadiq.
Very nice game.
Who scored 0. Timong Patricia from Soroti. Esther Iluko is out there batting with Rachel Ntono. The other players on the side, Carol Namugenyi, Joyce Mary Apio. It's good to see Joyce Mary coming back into cricket. She had taken a break due to a maternity leave. Evelyn Anyipo, Sarah Walaza, Aniat Rona, Akurut Asmin, and Akiteng Sarah. Very, very strong side, that Titans team. And they are coming up against the Thunder team led by Janet Mbabas, who is the vice captain of the Victoria Pals. Has Anayo Christine. What a catch! Rachel Ntono surprised by that. I don't know if the bowler knew so much about that, but she just stuck her hands out there, and the ball was able to stick. Literally just put her hands up, and somehow the ball stuck. Rachel Ntono was going so well, 26 of 32 balls, but unfortunately losing her wicket. Titans now 53 for 3 in 11 overs. But like I was saying, the Thunder team led by the vice captain of the Victoria Pals, Janet Mbabas, has Anayo Christine. Anayo was the player of the tournament for the last Elite League. Maria Nyende Kagoya Maria Nyende Kagwe, sister to the chairman of the Umpires and Scorers Association, Simon Chintu. Very, very good keeper there from Masaka. Her coach, Odoyo, must be very proud of her. Eunice Kovusinje, Arina Lumo, Scovia Kello, one of the returning veterans. Jimia Mohammed from Soroti, Janet Mbabas, the captain. Stefani Nampina, one of the best bowlers there in those global qualifiers in Botswana. Teddy Oyela, Amenyo Natasha, Mildred Anyingo are the players for the Thunder Cricket Club. Twelve overs gone. The Titans are 54 for 3. Ilukol is still in one of the core players of the Victoria Powers, so she can still be able to carry her team, but she's coming up against one of the best bowlers. I'll tell you, one of the best bowlers in ladies cricket, Stephanie Nampina. As long as she has virtually unplayable. This show so far is only between her and her wicketkeeper, Maria Nyende Kagoya. They're enjoying themselves. Everything is beating the bat. As long as she has very good control of the ball, she's really very, very good. She knows how to get patches out of the wicket. And I've always told them that every good delivery from her always looks like a wicket-taking opportunity. The umpires out there in the middle, the international Patrick Musoke Makumbi, who's working with Shama today. Maybe what Janet Mbabas needs to do, because and there's a new batter in exactly, and she does that. She brings the fielders back in to say more attacking, because the opportunities for them. That's good to see. That's good captaincy from Janet Mbabas. I think all she needs to do, tighten up right there in front of the bat. Instead of having an extra cover, bring the extra cover back in and try and bring the slip closer. That way you make it more difficult for the batter to score runs, because at least Nampina is able to get some turn out of the wicket. So, and right now, if they keep the new batter on strike, it works well for the Thunder, because she's unable to play anything that Nampina is bowling. That's a beautiful over. Some very, very good balls there from Nampina. The Thunder have put the brakes on the run. Yeah. Swing and a miss. Captain Carol Namugenyi yet to get off the mark. And she's been in for 8 balls. Offers a chance, but it's put down. Very, very casual there from the fielder at middle. The experienced. My eyesight is not very good, but that looks like the experienced Kovia Akelo. She's been out of the game for quite a while. And maybe she's still trying to get used to the pace of the game. But Mildred Anyingo has bowled some very good overs. She has only gone for 2 runs in 2 overs. The youngster there from Soroti doing very, very well. But I'm more impressed by the captaincy here of Janet Mbabazi. She has made sure she keeps a very attacking field, especially because there is not a lot of the batters for Titans are not showing a lot of intent. Therefore, there's no need of spreading the field. Maybe they've spread the field for Esther, who has been there for quite a while. But other than that, they've kept a very tight field for Carol Namugenyi. Now, good delivery there from Stephanie Nampina. What Esther tried to do here is to use her feet and get to the pitch of the ball before it turns. That's also very good cricket from her and understanding. If you give the ball an opportunity to turn, then it becomes very difficult for you to play it, because Nampina is getting some good turnout. Another good delivery. Carol plays all around that. Some good stuff here from Stephanie. The ball is coming out of her hand very well. And once it pitches, it's causing a lot of trouble for the batters out there in the middle. Carol again, Sky is creating opportunities for the Thunder to be able to pick up a couple of more wickets. And also, you must say, because the Thunder have kept a very tight field, Stephanie Nampina. Natasha Amenyo being the target bowler here for, they need to make quickly, but Esther Eluko is quick between the wickets and she's able to make ground. But Natasha, I think the Titans have decided to go after Natasha. Esther has already picked up a boundary of her, and they took there some 2 quick runs. Evelyn Anyipo and Esther Eluko very quick between the wickets. Maybe Janet shouldn't have given another over, because at the back end of the innings, all the batters are looking at taking on the bowlers. Therefore, anything that is loose will be pounced on. Body and soul there from the fielder in covers. I think it is Mildred. She might be hurt because that ball must have taken out her knee. But I guess she'll be able to continue. Mildred there will need some attention from the physio, because Esther Eluko hit that ball very hard. But some body and soul effort there from her was able to stop that boundary. Like I was saying, it seems the Titans have decided to before the batters really warm up. That way she gets some bit of protection, because right now the Titans are looking at throwing the kitchen sink at everything she's bowling. Hit hard there from Evelyn Anyipo. Esther Eluko is very, very quick in between the wickets. She wanted 2. She made sure she runs the first one very fast. And they will get 2. Most certainly, the Titans are looking to up the ante. There's not so much left in this game. After this over, there will only be 4 overs left. Therefore, they are trying to make sure they get as many runs as they can get in the final deliveries of the game. Esther Eluko has run very hard between the wickets. She really looks tired. I'm sure she's about to signal from some water from her teammates. Hit hard, and there's work to do from the fielder out there at deep cover, but she's able to keep it to 2. The good over here for Titan was clearly the ball to take on, and they pick up some good wickets, some good runs. We'll have to bowl some of the final over. Only 12 balls left in this game. The Titans are now Janet Mbaba's high-fiving her prime ball. That magic number of 100. battle happening out there in the middle. You love the Elite League. It will be very rare for this each other. Bowling to Evelyn. The reason why you have this Elite League competition, the best players get to face off against each other. Times you earn the respect. It's them. Help them. When they compete against themselves, this helps them, earn that respect and be better players as well, because they get to test their skills against players of very good quality. Irene changing from right arm over to right arm round. Tries to go hard there. Esther Elukol puts in a dive. Janet Mbabazi, but she's not able to get to it. And they'll get two. But a good effort there from the captain, Janet. And the ball just spun away from her at the last minute. But again, very, very good stuff from her to make sure that they keep a tight field. That was an opportunity. Her captain, her bowler, Irene Aromo, impressed by it. But you can see what Esther is trying to do. She's trying to up the ante. So she's trying to take on Irene Alomo. Irene and Esther also know each other very well. Very brave in that effort there. Not a good fielding effort. Instead of recovering, could have just given away only 2 runs. Cover well. There's a run. Louder appeals there from Maria Nyende Kagoya, but not given. They actually take 4 runs. Good running between the wickets there from Evelyn Anyipo and Esther Elukol. She has given everything. Natasha there at mid-wicket had an opportunity of recovering and retrieve that ball to keep it to just 2, but once it went through her body, she just gave up. Yet the ball actually didn't run all the way to the boundary. Esther Elukol leading the charge here for the Titans. They need a lot of runs, and she's making sure she's out there in the middle. She's very brave, taking on one of the best bowlers in ladies cricket in Uganda, Irene Alomo. But these two know each other very well, especially from Soroti. They both come from Soroti. So I'm sure they've had a lot of these battles amongst themselves. To make sure Evelyn Anyipo not ready to take a second, so they want to keep it to 1. A style call very quick between the wickets, and they'll get a single. Fruitful over here for the Titans. They're getting closer to that magic figure of 100. 1 more over left in the game. The Titans are 92 for 5. Can they get to that magic figure of 100 runs? Wait and see. The captain, Janet Mbabas, will bowl the final over herself for the Thunder. The Thunder had done well in those middle overs. But I think the Titans have done a better job in the final 4 overs, coming back very well, because at a certain time they were stranded between 65 and 69 for quite some time. But Esther Elukol has been able to make sure she gets the run scoring going up, and she has found a good support. She has found good support in Evelyn Anyipo. Esther has 25 of 25. She has done so well for her team. This is the final over of this first inning. Evelyn swings. They will get a single. It's the batter who has been in for the most time, Esther Elukol, on strike. Esther tries to go big. Ball is not judged well there by Scovia Akello. She thought Esther is running after everything, and they will get 3 runs. Very, very good effort there from Esther Eluko. She's riding her luck, and she's being gifted runs by the Thunder in the field. Dropped chance there by Irene Alumo. I think she was so casual trying to take that opportunity, and unfortunately the ball just went right through her and hit her face. I hope she's not in trouble, but of course the senior umpire Patrick Makumbi knows these things, as is the norm these days. Any hit on the head requires some medical attention to just make sure that there are no concussion problems. But Irene, so casual, you'd expect better from her. And I'm sure Evelyn Anyipo was already on her way once she saw that that dog was going to Alumo. Given another chance, the Thunder very, very sloppy. We saw Scovia Akello misjudging that a hit there from Esther Ilukol. And then this time, Irene Alumo very casual, down. I think it was easier to catch the ball than drop it. But unfortunately, Irene drops a very, very simple catch. She could have taken that in her sleep. Again, I don't know what you put it down to. Maybe the girls haven't had enough time to practice. But nonetheless, unexcusable. That was a very, very simple catch that came to her. But she wasn't able to take it. Janet Mbabazi, the captain of the Thunder, still working hard for her team. Hit out there in the middle, but goes straight to Stefani Nampina, who's able to do the fielding. An interesting battle here between the Titans and the Thunder. Both sides have a very good mix of youth and experience. But most certainly, all the senior players have to stand up to make sure that the teams do well. And we're already seeing Esther Elukol do that for her team. The Thunder will be looking at their senior players to help them. Esther Elukol walks to that. They will pick up 2, I think, but she's running very hard. The third, but they will keep it to just 2 runs. And that will be the end of the first inning here between the Thunder and the Titans at the Lugogo Cricket Oval. The Titans able to set 100 for 5 in their 20 overs. The Titans setting 100 for 5 in their 20 overs. The Thunder will need 101 for them to be able to win this game. Hello, hello. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
Hello.
Hello. Jared Mbaba is the captain of the Thunder. You guys did the mid overs, trying to restrict the Titans to a very good total. However, at the back end of the innings, they were able to come hard against you. And what do you think about your bowling effort and your team?
But the Titans, they did pretty well. They were also scrambling for runs towards the end of the overs, which is a thing that a team should do at the end of the overs. I feel like our bowlers, it must have been Natasha and yeah, Natasha mainly gave out a couple of runs. We're bowling a bit of short balls and giving but other than that, we did well in the first overs and up to the mid.
You put down a couple of opportunities, chances. You hope these don't come back to haunt you. Could have done better. 100 runs. Do you feel you can be able to get that?
Yeah, if we stick to the run rate of about 5+ and over, we should be able to score the runs. Yeah.
Right. Good luck to you guys in the second innings. Aaron Namugenyi, the captain of the. It's been a while for you first of all, it's very good to see you back playing, and it's been a while. How did it feel for you after quite some time?
Didn't feel bad. Like I'm so excited to come back and play and then captain the side. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
All right, 100. Do you think it's enough for you? Could you have been able to get some more runs? Do you feel 100 runs is enough for you to be able to pick up the win?
According to the grounds and the fields, when we looked at the field, 100 was a bit low, and yeah, it was an advantage for bowlers. So we looked at 100 runs as dependable.
Good luck to you guys, and we'll see you at the end of the game, hopefully as the winners. The second innings. Back for the second innings. The Thunder need 101 runs to win the game. That's because the Titans got 100 for 5 at the back end of the innings, who made sure that she propels this total, because they were stranded for at 69 for 4 for quite some time. But for them to be able to recover and put on 100 runs was a big effort. Esther Ilkol, the top scorer there with 31, and Rachel Ntono with 26. But now they will need to make sure they are able to defend that total. Evelyn Anyipo opening the bowling for the Titans. We spoke to the captain there, Karo Namugenyi, who thinks that 100 should be enough, given that the outfield is a bit slow. So therefore, they will need to work very hard. Janet Mbabas as well saying that they will need to make sure they stay with the rate of 5 runs every over if they're going to be able to pick up the win today. I'm joined in the commentary by someone very familiar to everyone. Davis Karashani. Davis, this elite league for the ladies, getting off to a very, very good start. Last year the scores were pretty low, but today we already have 100 runs in the first inning, and we saw actually some of the senior players here for the Titans standing up well and making sure they put on a very good total.
Well, good afternoon. I think should be coming into to midday really. But if it is good morning wherever you are, good morning, Dennis, to the rest of the viewers out there. Well, yet again, it's a pleasure to be in the commentary box alongside you, sir. And interestingly for me is the fact that again the Women's Elite League is back. Unfortunately, it looks like a run-out chance there. Not the ideal start for the team trying to chase down 100 runs, as they lose their first wicket. Very, very, very unnecessary run out early on in there. But seems to be some consultations going on between the umpires. Patrick Makumbi, the main umpire, inquiring from Shama about something there. But without a doubt, communication mishap there. Not the ideal start. And the batter is given out. But Dennis, interestingly for me, is it's very good to see that the Elite League is back, especially for the ladies. Having started off, it's reasonably bad in the last one. The scores were pretty low. The quality of the cricket was not as was expected, but it's good to see that today we've started off with 100 runs from the team that batted past the Thunder. Unfortunate start for the team chasing the total, losing a wicket first up in the over, a needless wicket of a run out. But with that wicket brings in the captain, Babazi Janet, gives an opportunity to come out early on in the inning to try and be as dominant as possible and perhaps lead her team into what you'd say is the famous first victory for them in the tournament.
Davis, Jimia Mohammed, one of the good players for the Thunder, and it's unfortunate they've lost him very, very early. I think they would have wanted her to stay for quite some time. Mildred and Yingo there, these two come from Soroti. I wonder where the miscommunication came from. You thought they could have had a better communication out there in the middle for them to be not to lose that wicket very early, because wickets as well will expose the rest of the players very early, and they'll put a lot of pressure on the batting lineup.
Well, Dennis, communication mishaps happen everywhere. You being the married man, you obviously know how it's not a guarantee that being together is going to allow for certainty of communication. But unfortunately for the batters, they have been forced to send back the batter for no run. Didn't trouble the scorer. We'll be hoping to get a better outing in the afternoon. But yes, the batting team is finally off the mark. The Thunder, right, Dennis? They are off the mark, picking up a single there at a square leg. With that single brings Janet Mbabazi, the captain of the side, onto strike. She'll be hoping at least to bat out close to 15 overs to give herself and her team a chance of picking up a victory first up in this tournament.
Very true. And I think now the responsibility is on the captain, Janet Mbabazi, as a senior player, to make sure that she bats very, very long and very deep if her side is going to be able to chase down this total. 100 runs for ladies cricket, Davis, sometimes 200.
A 100 runs simply means that's 5 and over from the get-go, so that can be a bit of a challenging total, especially when we do recognize that pretty quickly. in the first 6 overs, and we are seeing that happen exactly here in this over from Evelyn Anyipo, the national team opening bowler, Victoria Pearl's opening bowler, who's managed to keep things pretty tight, conceding just 1 run and managing to get the solitary scalp. So you will see that is already an indication to you that in ladies cricket, they don't seem to get out of the blocks pretty quickly. So 100 runs can be quite challenging. It will call for a lot of cricketing awareness and understanding of how to as close as possible to that 100 mark.
But again, you would think that the elite league, as is Davis, the idea to get the best players competing against themselves probably is not such a bad thing, because in the league and in the clubs, some of the players are really in one only in one team, because we saw Irene Alomo bowling to Esther Ilukol, and she was also bowling to Evelyn Anyipo. Now Evelyn has an opportunity to bowl to Janet Mbabazi in a competitive game, which should be a good thing for the development of the ladies' game.
I think the overall principle really of Adelaide League is basically trying to get the best to play up against the best. It's creme de la creme in the nation up against the best. As you do mention that, you'd expect a higher quality over competition, which is what the Elite League certainly does provide. Interesting for me is to see, good to see opening the bowling, the captain of the side. She's been tasked with that extra responsibility of captaining this side. She's a very experienced player, has put in some tremendous performances for the Victoria. See her make some time off and get back into women's cricket.
Very, very true. And I mentioned it somewhere that this Elite League, we've seen the return of a couple of the most experienced girls in ladies cricket. Quick one there. Mildred is able to make it home. It's very good to see players like Carol Namugenyi. Scovia Kelo is playing for the Thunder. Barbara Mukankusi is also back. It's very, very good to see that some of these players are coming back to take part in the game. I think the younger ones have a lot of things to learn from them, and it would be very, very good for ladies cricket.
Tennis going back, winding down into memory lane. I remember the first time we watched women's cricket. That I think is in 2000, 2001, down in at Gymkhana in Dar es Salaam. You remember that time the field sets for women, traditionally you'd find a leg, you'd say a short leg on both the mid-wicket region and the short cover. The famous fielders, of course, at the time were former national team players and now managers at the time. Diana Mosime used to field at short mid-wicket and made that position her own. She used to take quite a number of catches there. I think on the offside was Homuza Charity, who turned out to be a lawyer and is a practicing counsel in Kampala here. But very good to see that the game has evolved. Women's cricket has gotten a bit more attacking, you would say. Good shot there from Mildred, manages to squarely drive that. But that is very well fielded at point. So for me, it's very, very good to see that there's been an evolution of the women's game, and Uganda in particular managing to pick up a continental trophy. But not just that, but they continue to make headway and show that they can actually play this game at the highest of levels. Not much foot movement there from Janet Mbabazi. And that manages to get through for yet another dot ball. And at the end of the second over, the Thunder are at just 4 runs for the loss of 1 wicket. Evelyn Anyipo continues to operate from the shell end and starts off yet again with asking some questions to Mildred. Not many answers Short and wide delivery there from Evelyn Anyipo. She was very lucky that she's gotten away with a bad ball. Mildred could have managed to muscle that down to the extra cover region for 4 runs to get her inning underway.
Easy for you to say. Those are want bowlers to be bowling in for us, especially if you're batting at the top of the order. Once you see one outside of stump, your eyes won't light up. Continues again, but maybe she's realized that Evelyn Mildred is very weak in that region, so she's not bothering to bowl anything up front to her. Identical scores at the Chambogo Oval. The Aziz Damani Hurricanes set 100 as well, but and the Northern Titans will need 101 for them to be able to win. Kevin Awino, the captain of the Aziz Damani, this time she's able to pounce onto that. Will not run away for 4. The returning Joyce Mary Apio doing the fielding. For Aziz Damani, Kevin Awino scoring 46. And she got help from Gloria Obukol, who got 19. And Rita Msamal, who got 13 of 8 balls. The Northern Titans, the Northern Knights, Warriors, are trying to get 101. While here, the Titans are also chasing 100 runs for them to be able to pick up the win.
Yet another dot ball for Janet Mbabazi. Yet to get off the mark. Without a doubt, she does have... Oh, she has 1 run of the 5 balls she's faced. Well, she is sure that she does have quite a lot of time to go. And she will have to do not just a batting role, but she must be able to marshal her troops. Gets another short and wide delivery. This time that's adjudged wide by umpire Patrick Makumbi. Then it's dangerous lines, you would say, that Evelyn Anyipo is bowling. In this particular over, she could have conceded at least 3 boundaries down to a behind point or extra cover. But has been fortunate that batters haven't gotten as much, haven't taken a liking to that kind of length and width. Finishes off that over with the dot ball. Kept a little bit low.
Very true. I don't know why she's trying to insist on that line. But maybe, like I've said, maybe she knows the people she's bowling to, and so she's not trying to bowl anything up front to them because they could be stronger in that region. Janet Mbabas is the captain of the side, Davis. What do you think she should do for her to be able to lead her team to this win?
Well, Dennis, to be honest with you, I think Janet Mbabas has not had a lot of challenges with her technique. But unfortunately for me, she's come out to be one of those great club cricketers that has struggled to make a real name for herself at the international circuit. So for me, I feel she needs to get out of that kind of shell that she's had, especially at the international circuit. She needs to show her dominance right from things like the Elite League, because she's up against quality bowlers. In particular, right now she's up against the season campaigner in Karona Mugenyi and Evelyn Anyipo, who is the opening bowler of the Victoria Pearl. So there's not much room for a lot of bad bowling. So Janet has to find a way of believing that she does have the skill to not just stay on the wicket, but actually be able to freely score runs.
And in the first innings, we saw that when she was captaining the Thunder in the field, they made sure they keep a very, very tight field. So there were very few opportunities to pick up 1s and 2s, and even the singles, even the boundaries, were not very, very common. It's only up to until they take a suicide one, and Janet is not very quick. But unfortunately, the keeper is not able to gather the ball, so I think she gets to live another day. But she could have been in trouble. They just took off there, Mildred and Janet. I don't know if Janet was ready for the run, considering that she's not the quickest between the wickets. So once Carroll uses the same trick, Davis, of keeping a very, very tight field, you'll have to force the batters to try and hit over the fielders or try and go for boundaries. And if the bowlers are bowling well, then it will be very, very difficult in the chase.
Dennis, you speak of very, very important points, I think, for me. The whole point of having an elite league, especially, and having coaches assigned to these particular teams, for me, Dennis, it starts right from the coaches. Then the coaches need to find a way of ensuring that they pass on relevant tactics to these players so that these players are able to not just participate in an elite league, but also improve at a standard that will be required of them in international cricket. Because I am yet to see any of the batters try to go over the top, over the infield, and that can be, in my opinion, that is the modern approach to T20 cricket. Even in the ladies' game, we've seen the top sides in the world ensure that they try and maximize the beautiful shot, very well struck. I guess Janet Mbabazi does have, I guess, a fly in the commentary box.
Janet Mbabazi must be batting with those things we say in the WBL. So some earbud, she must have listened to the commentary and right away knew that the only way she's going to be able to score a bit of runs is by going over the top. But Kara has also been insisting with that line Davis of bowling very, very full. Only that Mildred and Janet haven't been able to beat the fielders in the ring, but there were opportunities for them to try and hit the ball on the ground and pick up some very good runs. But you make very, very good points that this is an opportunity for the players and the coaches to try and teach good shot there and good fielding from Rachel Ntono. Good stuff there. Good cricket all round. Like you mentioned that the teams need to use these opportunities, especially when you compete against very good players, for you to be able to improve your game and learn and try and prepare yourself for international cricket. Ultimately, the purpose is to pick a side that is going to represent the Victoria Powers in international engagements next year. Therefore, it is important that the players show improvement. Ivan Kakane, the coach of the Titans, and Lawrence Sempija, the coach of the Thunder team. The Northern Knights are coached by Oyaga Saddam, and Yusuf Nanga is the coach of the Aziz Damani Hurricanes. So there's a lot of work to do and a lot of lessons for everyone actually involved in this elite league.
Well, lessons galore, as you do mention, rightly so, Dennis. But well, just to let the viewers know, the action is being brought to you from the Lugogo Cricket Oval. This is the Women's Elite League. Second edition, if I'm not mistaken, short and wide delivery. Good shot there from Janet. Doesn't pierce the gap. But for me, Dennis, that is the kind of brand of cricket that I would like to see. I would like to see Janet Mbabazi and Mildred try and pounce on any bad bowling. That is short and wide. So it's good to see Janet finding some bat. Unfortunately for her, she didn't get the gap. But for me, that is the intent that is required in the modern T20 cricket. Cover length delivery there from Evelyn Nanyipo, who responds appropriately by ensuring she does not bowl anything short and wide to Janet, and that's managed to get tucked right behind square leg for a single. Good to see the Thunder trying to take a bit of initiative and get these ranches going. Short and wide, short delivery, kept a bit low. They scamper through for a single, quick single, and they manage to make it through. The throw hits Evelyn Nanyipo on her shin. We're hoping that is not very, very dangerous as an injury. Physio runs onto the ground to try and give Evelyn Nanyipo some medical attention. She needed break, you would say, for the batters. Gives them a bit of a chance to take a breather and reassess the conditions, reassess their ranches, and see how to ensure that they can pace these ranches. Short delivery there from Evelyn Anyipo. Ball a bit too straight down the leg side, you would say, actually. And Janet Mbabazi manages to pull that very fine. Gets a boundary with the fine leg fielder in the ring. Bad delivery there. That Janet Mbabazi managed to pounce on. Very, very good cricket from Janet. Anything that is bad deserves to get the maximum of punishments. And fielding captain Karo Namugenyi sends the...
But setting a field for a bad ball, not necessary. That gives Janet Mbabas an opportunity to get that single that has been missing because she has been trying to nudge the ball into that region, and Walaza was there to patrol it. But we're here to see Sarah Walaza and Joyce Mary appear bowling. There's a lot of arsenal in this team. Maybe Nyingo not making a good start there. I don't know how you can take a single when you're actually still in your crease if you want to pick up a quick one. Evelyn Anyipo hadn't started off so poorly with Karo Namugenyi. Now here in the turnovers is where the game sometimes is lost on one, because the next bowlers may take the pressure off the batters if they're offering scoring opportunities. The Thunder 18 for 1 in 5 overs. Chance there. Shakira Sadiq too close, not able to hold on to it. All she can do is keep it to 1. Shakira, a very good fielder, likes to stay in that area, and she always feels very, very close. Just unable to hold on to that one this time. The bowling change for the Titans. And the new bowler is called Akurut Asmin. Another one from those that made the long journey from Soroti to come and play in this elite league. Quite a big team, Davis. Nearly a whole bus came from Soroti to come and take part in this elite league. Very, very good stuff there from the Soroti Cricket Academy to actually produce players who are good enough to play in the elite league, because this is not an invitational tournament, but a tournament for only the best.
Yeah, kudos to the Soroti Cricket Academy establishment. Of course, their president, Felix Musana, their operations manager, Tembo Zubai, for the commendable, and of course their coach, Ivan Kakandi, for the commendable work they have done down there in the eastern part of Uganda. They have managed to not just participate, but they have managed to actually put together and ensure that they get quality players for the ladies game in Uganda, and they continue to churn out quite a number of players. Dennis, you rightly stated, I think half of the passengers that made that trip from Soroti in that particular bus were coming from that academy. So that's just another indication of just how much they have done, the contribution they have made to women's cricket in Uganda. Very well bowled here, yet again. Mildred struggling to rotate strike, and might have to consider finding a way of ensuring that she gets off strike to try and allow Janet Mbabazi to eat up a lot more of the strike. Wide delivery. Not exactly what the captain Karo Namugenyi would be wanting to see, especially not just because it is wide, but because it is down the leg side, and Karo Namugenyi has opted to keep the third man fielder down, who is the only fielder outside the ring. So any delivery ball down the leg side or too straight would easily mean that the fielding side will consider an easy boundary on the onside. Mildred manages to drive that handsomely down to mid-off, puts in the big dive. Unfortunately for Mildred, that did not hit the stumps. But good cricket all round, good drive there. Very well picked up by Evelyn Anyipo at mid-off. Takes a shy at the stump, doesn't connect, but a good brand of cricket, you would say. And with the Janet Mbabazi taking strike, there is a field change. And Rachel Ntono, that was fielding in the covers, has been sent down to patrol the boundary at extra cover.
Would you think, Davis, that Janet should be hogging most of the strike? Good shot there. Good intent. Like Davis you said, they need to show more intent because that will be able to create opportunities for them. Do you think Janet should be hogging most of the strike from Mildred, considering she's also the senior batter and has a better hitting range than Mildred? For the Thunder to actually have an opportunity of making sure they stay with the rate in this game.
In my opinion, it is looking very likely that for Thunder to have a chance of winning this particular fixture, they'll need Janet Mbabazi to face at least anywhere around 60 balls. So that simply means that she needs to face at least half the number of balls that are bowled at Thunder. And that would, when you break it down further down, it means she needs to face at least 3 to 4 balls in each particular over for Thunder to have a chance of chasing down at this particular fixture. But however, Namugenyi on the other end will be hoping to keep Mildred on strike for as long as possible and keep Janet stabbed from the strike.
On the other hand, the Thunder, the Titans, I'm thinking they will be looking at making sure that every time Mildred is on strike, they keep a very, very close infield to try and make sure that she keeps the strike for as long as possible. And so the trick is to defend against Janet and stay attacking against Mildred.
Well, Dennis, there is a bowling change. And with that bowling change has come a change in the field. And with that change in the field, it has opened up quite a number of gaps, you would say, that we should be able to allow Mildred to easily find a strike rotation option. Is that a left-arm spinner? I'll be very, very impressed if there is a left-arm spinner in this particular Titan side. Meant to understand that is Sarah, the left-arm spinner. Left-arm spinners are like gold dust in T20 cricket. Oh, and starts off pretty well, really, you would say. Gives it much-needed air. Didn't get it to bounce on the length she wanted. That was a bit too full. But very, very good to see a left-arm spinner operating in this elite league. Big sweep shot there from Janet Mbabazi. Gets a much-needed connection, finds the gap at deep square leg for a much-needed boundary early on in this particular over. Mildred has done exactly what was required of her. Get a single very early in the over and give Janet Mbabazi the strike.
Certainly, Davis, and I think that means that Janet also has to be interested in the singles, because there's ready to get off the strike, and in the end you just get yourselves run out. But she has to make sure she's interested in the single to be able to take up the strike. And I've liked that she's taking up the responsibility of ensuring that she gets the run scoring going. She's now showing more intent in terms of taking a lot more risks to make sure that she's able to manipulate the field. Now the field is more relaxed. We didn't see the Thunder doing a lot of this. Janet insisted with a very, very tight attacking field up to the last over. Another good shot there from Janet Mbabazi. She plays that sweep shot well. Good work there from the youngster, Akrut Asmin. Surprised that Joyce Mary Apio hasn't bowled yet, and Salah Waraza. Those two have played for the Victoria Powers before, so you feel that they're more experienced. They know what to do in these situations. There's no change in the field, even when Mildred came on strike from the Titans. Maybe they've gone to sleep, especially after
attempted sweep shot there for Mildred. Didn't get the connection, but with that leg by allows perhaps a good thing for the Titans. It allows Mildred to take strike at the start of the next over. Tennis for me, I think I would have been tempted as much as Carol Howe has to try and bring in the left-arm spinner. Left-arm spinners, as I did mention, are like gold dust because they create wicket-taking opportunities. And perhaps not the ideal start for Sarah in that particular over. But I want to believe if she finds her line and length, she should be a big challenge for the batters.
I think the miscalculation was on the part of Janet. She shouldn't have taken the single. Shouldn't have taken the single because now Mildred will have to do something for them to pick up that single. And Carol hasn't brought everyone in. There are still opportunities for her to pick up that one run. Chance. The edge flies to Sarah Kiteng, who is in, you would say perhaps fly gully. Mildred Anyipo. Mildred has to go. Second wicket for the Titans. But most importantly for the Thunder, that their captain, Stephanie, Janet Mbabas is still there. The experienced Stephanie Nampida will be walking on to join Janet. And between these two is where the Thunder will have an opportunity in the game. The new batter is Stephanie Nampina. Stephanie bowled an amazing spell. 4 overs, going for only 7 runs and picking up 2 wickets. But sometimes the challenge with all-rounders, Davis, is when they do well with the ball, they just never show up with the bat.
Yeah, well, all-rounders have been caught napping on that. They normally would be able to do well, at least, okay, will do well in the 2 aspects of the game. That will probably be fielding and either batting and bowling. So it's something that has become a bit of a concern with teams trying to move away with playing too many all-rounders, especially in Test cricket. But all-rounders have continued to be very, very dominant in T20 cricket. And perhaps Stephanie Nampina gets an opportunity to come out and showcase what she can do with the bat. She already showed us what she can do with the ball. Never been a question about what she can do with the ball. For me, the Elite League provides yet another opportunity for her to showcase and get better as a player, as an all-rounder, not just a leg spinner. I know she can hit the ball, but she walks in at a time when her team needs her to stitch together a very good partnership with her captain. Starts off with a back foot punch to cover. Good shot, you would say. Doesn't yield her any runs. But this is a key partnership for the Thunder. They have perhaps their most experienced batters on the wicket at this time. If these two can bat for at least another 6-7 overs, they'll feel that then they'll have a chance of winning this particular fixture.
Healthy edge, but to run through that slip region, there's no one there. Akrut Asmin, the bowler for the Titans. When two good batters are on the wicket, Davis, right now you feel isn't a good time to be using a youngster or a part-timer because they can be easily picked on. You'd rather go to your senior bowlers. You have Walaza and Joyce Mary Apio yet to bowl, or even Carol can bowl herself to try and make sure you deal with the threat of the senior bowlers. They will try to get to Janet Mbabas has to run very hard. And given out there by Patrick Makumbi. Janet, I was not sure she was going to make it for that second one. And unfortunately loses her wicket unnecessarily. Last year, Janet was run out in all the games that were played in the Elite League. She's continuing from where she stopped, I guess.
unfortunate dismissal for her. She's simply just the Titans. Much needed wicket, you would say, for the Titans. But yet again, poor running there from Janet Mbabazi, especially knowing that she's not the quickest out there. But she simply hands her wicket to the opposition at a time when the opposition did need it. Janet should have recognized that her batting with Stephanie Nampina may not have needed to try and go for too many quick singles, as both of them have the ability and the cricketing competence to be able to pick up and find the much needed boundary. So for me, that was absolutely poor cricket from Janet. She'll need to quickly learn from that and put a halt to what Dennis is calling a run-out kind of record that she seems to be setting by a mile for herself and in women's cricket.
I'm gutted for Janet. She was looking very, very good. But unfortunately, the moment I saw her turning when the fielder had picked up the ball, I certainly knew that she was in trouble and it was going to be hard for her to make sure she makes it in time. Losing her wicket there, she was looking really very, very good. And he thought as long as she stayed on the wicket there with Stephanie Nampina, they will be able to put on a very good total. Scovia Akello, I do not know the last time she really played some very decent cricket. It's been a while for her, but it's very, very good to see her playing again. And I'm sure the youngsters have a lot of things to learn from the likes of Scovia Akello. And this Elite League gives her an opportunity to put her hand up for the national team again. The youngster there, Anyayit Lona, doing the fielding at the third man region to get rid of Janet Mbabazi.
Dennis, I must admit I've been impressed with the bowling of this young lady. Yes, she might be a youngster, but for me, Akurut she has continued to beat the outside edge and also equally get some healthy edges there from senior batters. So for me, I think she's bowled in pretty good areas and allowed to try and continue to build some bit of pressure from this Ginger Road end. So for me, I think hats off to her. She's bowled pretty well, and she'll be hoping that she can get much needed support from the shell end.
Very, very true, Davis. Krut. Let Entrat into this Titan sides to replace Akurut and Asumin, the few people who are involved in that wicket of Janet Mbabazi. Asumin and Akurut coming in for Immaculate Nakisuya and Mirembe Rin, who have exams, and so they can't take part in this tournament. And it's very good to see that once they've gotten an opportunity to come to Kampala, they're using it very well to showcase their skills and not just come here for vibes like some people will say.
Well, a very important passage of play right here for both teams. Stephanie Nampima dances down the wicket, should have run the single, but has turned down the single, Dennis. She managed to hit that down to mid-on, you would say, vacant position, but she did not take the single. Interesting tactics there from Stephanie. Even worse, follows that up with a dot ball. That for me is not very intelligent cricket. Perhaps she must be having some kind of plan that we totally have no idea about. But back-to-back dot balls from the young left-arm orthodox spinner. And with 2 dot balls in a row, that's forced Stephanie Nampina to play a huge hoik across the wicket, across the stumps. Managed to get some butt to that, but that goes for just a single to deep mid-wicket.
That's the thing about dot balls, Davis. They create unnecessary pressure. And Stephanie trying to go for a big heave rather than continuing to milk the total. Some people say, Davis, you're a spinner. Looking at that action there for Akiteng, is everything all right there? Are the angles okay? I'm not a bowler, so I wouldn't know.
Well, I think she could do with a lot more in that action. I feel there's not much pivoting in there to try and get extra revs on the wicket on that ball to try and get a lot more spin. The action seems too chest on And that for me will be a bit of a concern. Perhaps her coach will want to get her back leg actually managing to pivot to get some extra revs off that front foot. But that will obviously be an area of concern. But besides that, she's that as the required run rate for the Thunder continues to skyrocket.
"36 runs for 3 in just 9 overs. 65 runs required of 66 balls. Not bad in terms of numbers. The challenge for the Thunder is that their most experienced players are back in the hut. So therefore, these two, Scovia Akelo and Stefani Nampina, will need to work very, very hard. Asumin, Akurut Asumin, continues to bowl from the Ginger Road end. She's gone for only 9 in 2.1 overs and picked up a wicket as well. But she's consistently, like Davis mentioned, bowled outside that off-stump line. Very, very predictable against a good batter. I'm sure I will just be hanging on my back foot.
Both teams, she tries to play a big drive, but doesn't get that anywhere beyond Rachel Ntono waiting at mid-off. And that is yet another dot ball for Scovia Akelo.
In Chambogo, the Nona Knights are 32 for 2, trying to chase 100 set by Aziz Damani Hurricanes. Not good goings for them as well. The chasing teams so far struggling, and the teams that set their small totals are working well with them.
There from Akurut. She has bowled. She tries to change pace. Ball the slower delivery. For me, I do not. It But interestingly for me, and very good to see, is that Scovia Akelo right there trying to sweep that ball, because she does recognize that the is one. Over, find themselves stuck at 9 for the loss of 3 wickets. Need to find a way of getting things going. The required run rate continues to Stephanie may be hoping and gets
Dot ball pressure here building for the Thunder. So far, Stefani Nampina and Scovia Akello are struggling out there in the middle. And you hope that they don't give away their wickets because the runs are not coming. They just need to stay their course. The Titans went through this passage of play as well, but they were able to pick up 1 or 2 bowlers they took on. Again, they don't pick up that single. I thought if they run quickly, if they run quickly against Karo Namgenye, they would have been able to make it home. But they don't pick up the single. If you're not picking up the singles and you keep doting, then it creates a lot of pressure for you. You need to do one of the two, but not both.
For the over a waiting middle field. And that's a long of 5 men on the, especially when Stefan.
Good point there, Davis. And maybe the other thing would have been that after the few dot balls they had picked up, she should have just dropped herself to try and protect the over. That would put more pressure on Scovia and Nampina. But right about now, that boundary at least relaxes them a bit. It makes them compensate for the over already.
Yet again, right that sort of back boundary option over the mid of region. Scovia Akello yet to get off the mark, eating up quite a number of balls and leaving a lot of heavy lift.
Both sides will need to start very soon, and Scovia Akello will need to find a way of making sure that she keeps the scoreboard ticking rather than leaving a lot of work for Stefani Nampina. If I feel finding a single is an easier job than actually hitting. Finally, Sarah Walaza comes into the attack. A little late for me, but maybe there's a plan to hit. I know she's a very, very good bowler who likes to bowl it up front. Therefore, right now, when the batters look to be trying to go after the total, it could be very, very difficult for her to stay tidy and disciplined. Old school style of cricket, Davis. The coach Ivan Kakand of the Titan out here trying to set the field. I like to see that. They told me that in ladies cricket, you cannot be patient for too long and you let them try and do whatever they want to do. So you need to give them as much guidance as you can, especially from the outside.
Oh. Have a problem with that. The coach also from Sarah Walaza unfortunately concedes a no ball. That has been adjudged no ball and is a free hit. Much needed use for Scovia Akello. This could be the chance for her to finally get out of the blocks.
Time for her to free her arms, try and get some good bat on the ball. But maybe the time she spent away from the game, you lose some of your killer instinct, because Koskovia used to be very, very explosive. So it would take her 1 or 2 games to be able to get back into the game. She tries to swing very hard. But she won't get out because it's a free hit. But Salah is very wise bowling a slower ball instead of trying to bowl a quicker one.
Think about particular ball. Much needed, you would say, for the Thunder. They need to find a lot of Nampina to face a lot of the strike to try and pick up much needed to get these ranches going.
Opportunity for a safely from Stephanie Nampina. She's trying to make something. She's trying to make something out of anything, and that's all because the burden of run scoring is on her. Scovia has only scored 1 run of 14 balls.
Well, Dennis, for me, not much cricketing intelligence there from Stephanie Nampine, especially knowing that she's going to have to score the bulk of the runs. She should have at least shown some effort or intent of trying to run two runs to try and ensure she does keep strike, but she simply just strolled her way to that single. Simply meant that, of course, Akelo had to face the next delivery, but she needs to understand that she needs to face the bulk of these particular balls.
It's like you mentioned, I think those are the things that the girls need to learn. Use this elite league, especially giving them, they're doing their team reviews and team meetings. They need to talk about these things so that today is the first day. On the second day, you don't see them doing the same thing. Over the match.
And again, coach of the Titans, Ivan Kakande, not very happy with that delivery from Molaza, and reminding her right from the boundary rope that her field is on the offside. For me, Dennis, Sarah Walaza for me does not look blind. She can clearly see that her field is on the offside. So for me, I've never been a fan of that kind of coaching style. So it's another aspect that this elite league allows coaches and players to try and better their skills.
Following up the boundary the Thunder. But Davis, like we've mentioned, I've been very, very close to football coaches. And one of the things I was also very interested in is trying to listen to what they actually try to pass players. Like they're the guys out. Anyways, cricket, we are privileged because we always think that the one who is in the middle has the knowledge and the skill to make the right decision. Maybe if they don't, they can be able to correct that. So when you listen to these football coaches, the things they keep telling the players is like they are more out of anger than actually knowledge. They are trying to guidance or knowledge they are trying to pass on to the players. The youngster Anyayit Rulona is going to be bowling from the shell end, and she's replacing Sarah Kiteng, who bowled well from that side. Again, interesting tactics, Davis. Stephanie is a set batter, and the youngster is coming to bowl to her. I don't know if that's a good tactic from Carol, because she could be very easy pickings for Stephanie and Scovia to try and up the run rate. We saw that in the first inning. Natasha was taken on by Esther Ilukol. When she came on to bowl.
Very, very good opportunity for the youngster, we must admit, Dennis. And for me, I like the fact that the youngsters are getting to showcase their skill in these tournaments. But you do mention a very important point that the youngsters need to be allowed to find their footing in these kind of tournaments. So it's key. I like her action. She goes right over that leg. She does much. So she will be able to get taller and get better. But for me, I'm impressed by her action. Good action. Skopje tries to come down the wicket but doesn't get any wood to that. And already at the halfway stage of this particular over, the it would have been ideal to try and get some of these senior players to be able to bowl up. Time it is a crunch particular phase of the game to try and get to come and bowl so they also learn and get better. For
Scovia Kello brings out the broom. She'll need to bring out a lot more often than she has done so far. She has only 3 of 17 balls. But if she can be able, her role could be important in this game as well, Davis. If she's able to anchor and ensure that Stephanie has good company. I think the realization for Stephanie and Akello is that they will need to find a way of making sure they take on Lorna with her bowling and try and up the run rate. There are the opportunities all over them. The field is already spread, so the opportunities for them to pick up singles all over the whole pitch.
Very, very impressed with the young spinner there. She does realize that Stephanie Nampinma is going to come at her and tries to bowl that quicker and flatter, allowing her to at least only concede the single of the final delivery. That was, for me, was a very, very good over from the youngster. And very good to see her in this particular tournament. And she should be able, things should only get better and easier for her.
The coach there are still animated on the touchline because they picked up a single. They allowed that single. I think why they wanted the single is to get Stephanie on strike. Sarah Wallace are given another over. She was a bit pricey in the first one, but she has been given a second over to try and keep it tidy. Joyce Mary Appiah yet to bowl again. I felt for Carol to be intelligent, maybe they're trying to keep Joyce for the back end of the innings, but they should have brought her up front, especially to bowl to the senior batters, because after these two, even the Thunder themselves do not have a lot of good batters left in that lineup. So you can give your youngsters then to bowl when it's a lot easier and it is more relaxed. There's not a lot of pressure.
Very well struck there by Stephanie Nampinma. I mean, I'm very impressed with that kind of shot because Stephanie Nampinma does recognize that the boundary option at this particular stage is down at extra cover because Carol Namugenyi has chosen to deploy 4 fielders on the boundary. 4 fielders are at long off, long on, mid wicket, deep mid wicket, and third man. So extra cover is a boundary option, and it's very good to see Stephanie Nampinma come down the wicket to try and pierce that gap. That's in the air. Not too sure what the field was trying to do there. That was a clear chance. Clear chance, but unfortunately, that wasn't taken. Just to let the viewers know that that was a no ball with 1 fielder. It is a fielding restriction no ball. And even if that had been taken, the batter, Stephanie Nampinma, would not have been out. But with that no ball allows Scovia Akello to face her second free hit of this particular fixture. She'll be hoping, not just her, but her teammates will be hoping she can get some good connection. Dennis, interestingly on the free hit, Carol Namugenyi has brought herself into the ring, and the long off fielder, they are in the ring.
That making an effort of getting another. I don't think the ball got lost in the sky or anything, but she just didn't make a better effort. As a youngster, you think that this is your opportunity and chance. These games are on TV. This is a chance for you to make your mark rather than coming, rather than not showing up at all. She could have done much better.
Dennis, to her defense, it was a no ball.
Even if it was a no ball, Davis, once you get some of those, they put you in the game. The next one will come in the air, and it's easy for you
Yeah,
to
that's
take.
true. Those are confidence builders, really.
But you should have seen the reaction of the coach, Ivan Kakade. Very unamused by that. I think Lona would have gotten a mouthful from him. She was only saved by the umpires who called it, who had judged it as a no ball.
Strange lines, you would say, from Walaza this particular game. She hasn't been on her mark. She's bowled both sides of the wicket. That's a bit of a challenge, especially at a crunch time in this particular fixture. She needs to recognize that she has quite a number of fielders in the ring, so she has already created too many. Again, Dennis, exactly what I just said. She's bowling on both sides of the wicket, bowling wides outside of stump and down the leg side. That can be dangerous, especially to a captain not too sure how to set a field. But Carol needs to actually be brought back to reality and realize that perhaps Sarah Alaza may not be having her best game at the moment, and maybe give her a more defensive field, because this attacking field, if Scovia Akelo manages to muscle anything, then pierce that gap, that will easily be 4 runs and allow the team that is chasing the total to try and get close to the total. Another delivery wide down the leg side.
You can clearly see Sarah Walaza. Her hands all over the place. Her arm is not coming down well to make sure that she gets a ball down the wicket. One arm is running towards point and the other is trying to bowl straight. It's impossible. But anyway, like I was mentioning, I don't know if the players got a lot of time to train and practice for the Elite League. They've just come out of that T20 tournament. But now the standard is higher. When you're bowling to players like Stefani Nampina and even Proskovia Akelo, you can see what she's trying to do. She's really trying to make sure that the ball is on point. The more time Akelo was spent there, she's now looking, she's looking much better. And I've mentioned that she's a class player. She just needed to take some time. Maybe the opportunity that she gives Stefani Nampina, that someone is there willing to stay with her, because Stefani is already on 18 of 20 balls. Good hit there. Walaza not very, very confident about herself. I don't know why. She's a very, very good player and a very good bowler. Right now it's very interesting. This is the partnership that should see them home.
With that dot ball brings an end to this, the 14th over. But as Dennis has rightly stated, we could be in for a very good and tight finish in this particular fixture. Crunch time there, Sarah Walaza will be hoping to try and get her radar on target going forward. Especially her team will need her to bowl 2 very, very important overs. But interestingly for me, and more, I would say what I've really liked in this particular fixture is the youngster, Lona. Bowled pretty well. Perhaps the thought must come to your mind of maybe she is the next Konsi Ayeko. Her action is pretty good, firm, tight action. Balls with a much needed flight. In the last over, she managed to bowl one much flatter. So for me, she's shown a lot of talent and cricketing intelligence to understand perhaps not to bowl the ball too flighted for Stephanie Nampina.
Good shot there from Stephanie. Very, very intelligent cricket. She realizes she rocks back onto that back foot quickly and makes sure she picks up gap very well to score a good 4. Davis, I think what we'll do, if I was Carol, what I would do, as the game gets very, very tight, you would rather bring back your best bowlers to try and drag the game back in your favor, rather than keeping Lona, who could go for a couple of runs and is very easy pickings for the good batters who are in already. Again, good cricket there from Stephanie. Will pick up a single. So right now I'm thinking if she can go back to herself or bring on Joyce Mary or Evelyn to try and drag back the game, then maybe they can bring back the youngsters who come and bowl later. But right about now, the Thunder are a little bit comfortable.
Yeah, Dennis, you're spot on right now because the Titans need to find 2 good overs from somewhere, and they need to find those overs very, very quickly. Otherwise, the Thunder are running away with these ranches. Very good to see personally for me. It's good to see that the fielding team has realized that Scovia might be struggling and have brought the long off and long on into the ring to try and avoid giving her an easy single. They scamper through for that single, and unfortunately, Karo Namugenyi does not play the supporting role. The plan was absolutely there for the taking, but Karo Namugenyi was not quick out of the blocks to try and prevent that single or even effect a run out. And with that single, allows Stephanie Nampina to take strike.
Another big shot there from Stephanie Nampina, and they will pick up another boundary. 10 runs off 4 balls already in this over for Lona. A big over for the Thunder. Like we mentioned, Davis, a more experienced bowler, should be bowling right now, especially because Akelo and Stephanie are already what? Akelo and Stephanie are already, they've played themselves into the game, so they can see the ball like a football. Watching from the sidelines, not your cup of tea, Davis. Stephanie gives away her wicket. After getting 10 runs, she shouldn't have, wasn't necessary. Gives away her wicket, but she has played very, very well to put her team in prime position to win this game.
Stephanie Nampina pays the price for a little bit of greed, you would say, after getting 10 runs in this particular over. 4 balls, she had managed already to get 10 runs. She had knocked it around for another, perhaps 2 singles that could have made a 10-run over, a 12-run over, allowing themselves a chance to try and fully maximize yet again in the next over, especially against a Sarah Walaza that has been struggling in this particular fixture. But Stephanie Nampina is sent back to the hut after playing a very, you would say, a handy knock. But for me, I would not be very impressed with the mode of dismissal. I felt she has done the hard work. She's done a lot of the heavy lifting and simply just left the clothes out to dry in the mud. I think for me, that for me is something that is not acceptable, especially some of these national team players. This Victoria responsibility to try and be participants, but also be match winners. Dennis, the match winning aspect is being shown, especially in those that are watching the Big Bash in the Australian, of course, the Australian T20 tournament. They have started rating batters on just how much and how capable they are in not just batting, but actually going the whole way, ensuring that they make. Stephanie Nampina, much as she has batted very well, she has gotten not many marks in that aspect of winning the game for her team. She has left her team out to dry.
They're right. And see the game through. Sometimes who will leave alone, assume they've done their part. Someone else should be able to pick it up from here. 25 runs required from 32 balls. No. 21 runs required off 30 balls for the Thunder. Akurut Asmin is brought back into the attack to bowl for the Titans. They will need to be very, very tight, like Davis has mentioned. They need to find at least 2 very tight overs for them to be able to drag this game back into their favor. Who's the new batter? The new batter for the Thunder is Irene Alumo. Scovia Akello going across the line and losing her wicket. Unfortunately, the two set batters, Akello and Stephanie, are now back in the hat. You wonder why she tried to go for a wild swing. Off the first ball, actually, Akrut Asmin was bowling in her second spell. You'd feel that the Titans were very brave to stick with the youngsters, but the youngsters have given them some reward. Lorna picked up a big wicket of Stephanie, and Akrut has now clean bowled the experienced Scovia Akello. Still, Anayo is the new batter. Is the new batter for the Thunder. This is the over that the Titans needed. Davis, they've picked up a wicket and they've kept it very, very quiet. Christina Nayo and Irene Alomo don't have any answers to the bowling of Asmin Akrut yet. She's bowled well, the youngsters, gone for only 13 runs in her 3.4 overs and picked up 2 wickets. That bus ride from Soroti is worth everything she's been able to put in today. And I hope it helps her side pick up the first win of the tournament. 20 runs required of 26 balls. The risky single, quick one, Shakira. Given out, Makumbi. Christina Nayo hesitated in that running and she loses her wicket. Very good work there from Shakira Sadiq. Easy run out for the wicketkeeper Esther Ilukol. Maria Nyende Kagoya, the new batter for the Thunder. Work. And now starting to undo the thing.
Yeah, of course, Stephanie Nampina losing a wicket. Not just losing a wicket, but the model in which she lost a wicket, for me, that was a bit too careless. As we saw that was quickly followed up by, of course, Scovia Akello again playing a wild slog, attempted slog and missing that and getting clean bowled. you gotta feel that the fact that Titans got rid of those two set batters, they might have felt that they did have a chance. An opening had been presented, and they have utilized that opening. Brought back the young Okurut, who has bowled exceptionally well in this particular morning fixture, has given her team, the Titans, much needed hope and believe that they can manage to find over defending these just 20 runs and pick up a victory first up in this elite league.
Very, very shabby there, Maria Nyende Kaguya. I don't know a wicketkeeper who does not tuck in their shirt. They are keeping an into, but she would know she would never play for my Wanderers team if she looked like that. Big work here for Irene Alumo. He's going to take the responsibility of the run. And Yait Lona is brought back into the... I don't know where they come from in Soroti. I'm thinking Irene is like the big sister, and the younger one is bowling to her. Maybe the young one is scared of her or anything or something, and she may bowl a few full tosses for her, just to make sure that whenever they go back to Soroti, Irene doesn't give her bouncers.
Brand of cricket that they play. They show a lot of commitment. Well, yet again, good to see the young spinner coming back to bowl. It's bowling up against Irene Alumo. Irene Alumo plays with a lot of freedom, especially when she's batting. So it could be a dangerous ploy employed here by Karo Namugenyi, because I want to believe anything that Irene Alumo sees that is bit untied. Uchasa she goes for now a quick single. Karo Namugenyi simply waits on the ring. Irene to get through for a single.
Ivan Kakan, very, very busy on the touchline. Making sure, the for the Thunder. Deliveries are not world class. At least she needs to find a single for Irene Alumo to get her on strike, so that it doesn't put a lot of pressure on Irene. I'm thinking that maybe Karo will go back to her prime bowlers after this. So therefore, whoa, chicken. But at least she keeps it to one. And gets Maria, maybe it was even tactical, gets Maria Nyende on strike and Irene Alumo off strike.
Yeah, interesting finish here at the Lugogo Kedovo. We are at the back end of this first fixture of the Elite League game between the Thunder up against the Titans. You would say both teams have had their chances of ensuring they dominate this particular fixture. But it's come down to, perhaps for me, the errors that the Thunder did make in their ranches. I thought they lost two very important wickets. The set batters in Stephanie Nampina and Scovia Kello at the wrong time. Of course, not many words of kindness to the run out that Mbabazi Janet, the captain, of course, simply handed to the opposition. So you would say that the Titans have simply clawed their way back into this particular fixture and are looking like they might be able to have enough to pick up a victory in this game.
And right. Switch in the field. In Chambogo Cricket Oval, the Titans, the Northern Knights, need 26 runs. Tight finish on both grounds. The Knights need 26 runs of 26 balls as well. But for them, they have only 2 wickets left. Good shot there from Maria. Hits it straight down the ground. Joyce Mary and Rachel Antono will only take silver and bronze as the ball takes gold. Very, very good shot there from Maria Nyende. I didn't know she had it in her.
Well, interesting finish here. The game keeps swinging. See the Thunder, they seem to have gotten their noses ahead. Their noses are in front in this particular fixture. They need just another 10 runs to win this particular fixture with quite a number of balls in hand. Mary Nyende, you said, she's actually playing a cameo, quick and much needed cameo, driving the ball very well. Picks up another thing. Oh, for me, she's shown quite the skill, much needed skill. Perhaps that will be an indication to Janet Mbabazi that this young wicketkeeper, Mary Nyende, might be an option to bat high up in the order.
I think if she's given more responsibility, she could do much better because she's showing that she's capable with the bat. Her team needs only 9 runs of 14 balls. But that boundary she scored off Carol Namugenyi has totally changed the equation of the game. Swing and a miss here from Irene Alomo. Interesting that the Titans had an attacking field for Nyende, and now they've gone back straight to defense. Again, a swing and a miss from Irene. Good bowling there from Carol. 9 runs required of 12 deliveries. We are going to be in for a late show, I'm sure. It will be interesting to see who's going to bowl this 19th over.
Well, this is the lead league, so this is exactly what you want to see. You want to see high pressure situations throughout the entire 40 overs. You would say, and this particular game has shown exactly that. Evelyn Anyipo is a bowler that Carol Namugenyi has turned to. Evelyn Anyipo is experienced. Wait a second, hold that thought. There is a bowling change. And instead, it is not Evelyn Anyipo. Surprise, surprise. Carol Namugenyi has turned to the left-arm orthodox spinner in Sarah. Perhaps I do recognize that maybe Mary may not be that strong against slow bowling, but I would have loved to have seen Evelyn Anyipo take to bowl that penultimate over. It is the most important over in T20 cricket, ensuring that if Evelyn or whoever bowls this particular over needs to make sure that they do not concede many runs and try and leave as many runs as possible for the bowler that will bowl the last over.
Lessons everywhere, but let's see how Sarah Kiteng performs. I don't know what the style they've taken, because the field looks a mix. attack and defense. So they are, in between and nowhere exactly. So there are still opportunities to pick up ones and twos, but you can still also hit the ball over the fielders and pick up a boundary. So it's somewhere in between attacking and defending, but it's nowhere anyway.
Well, back-to-back dot balls there from the young left-arm orthodox spinner. Much needed. It's getting pretty tight here at the Gogo Cricket Oval. That's handsomely struck. Big drive there. Karen Namugani takes a shot this time but misses. And with that miss, allows Mary and the Thunder to pick up a much-needed single. With that single brings Irene Alumo on strike. She does require another 8 runs of just 9 balls. So it is all happening here at the Lugogo Kerovo. Run a ball nearly.
It's getting very, very tight between these two sides. Let's see what Irene can do. Not enough what she's doing. At least they will need a boundary so that there's not a lot of work they will need to do in the final over. 8 of 8.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 8 of 7. That is the equation for the Thunder. They need to find over at least getting another run on this last ball of this Sarah over. Give themselves a chance to try and just 7 in the next and final over. And it is a dot ball. Sarah bowls a very, very important over and does very well in that. Concedes just about 2 or 3 runs, leaving the equation down to 8 runs needed for the Thunder off just 6 balls. Ongoing discussions from the fielders. Karen Namugani is surrounded by the wicketkeeper Esther Ilukol, Shakira Sadiq and Evelyn Anyupo. Lots of discussions going on. And the bowler that has been handed the responsibility of bowling the final over to take her team home is the youngster, young off spinner, Lorna. Dennis, you're one of those that has never been too sure about bowling a spinner in the last over. Well, here you are. Karen Namugani has opted for that particular decision.
Eight runs off 6 balls. Davis Anyeyi to never be given bigger responsibility in her young cricketing career than try and defend 8 of 6 deliveries for her side, the Titans Cricket Club, if they're going to be able to defeat the Thunder and Maria Nyende Kagoya as well. The onus is on her to try and find those 8 runs of 6 deliveries. They will go for a run. They will take a single. I do not know what's going through the mind of Lorna, but I feel for her as a youngster. I thought some of the senior players would take the responsibility to bowl. But what do I know? The only thing the Thunder need 7 runs of 5 balls.
Beautiful shot there from Irene Limo. She leans on the back foot and manages to get just enough butt on that. Hits that through the covers. Picks up 2 needed runs. Instructions being thrown here by the coach of the Titans, Ivan Kakande, trying to tell Lorna to bowl the ball as flat as possible. But for me, perhaps she's been asked to bowl a very, very difficult over for a youngster. Irene Alumo gets some butt to that Rachel Tono tries to effect the catch but doesn't get to it. And that allows a single to Irene Alumo. I don't know. With just 4 runs to go. 4 runs to go of just 3 balls. Yet again, it's just overrun a ball. Very, very gettable for the Thunder. At this particular stage.
Super overloading.
Exactly what you'd want, Dennis, I'm sure.
I don't think it will be a bad experience for the youngsters as well and for the teams to be part of a super over. Maria Nyende chances herself, uses her feet, gets to the pitch of that ball. They want 2 and they will get 2. It's now 2. Good backup there from Shakira Sadiq. 2 runs off 2 balls. Maria Nyende has played a very, very good cameo out there in the middle. The there of the Thunder are up on their feet. The young Stallona, she has to make sure if they will run hard. Shakira, the chance of a run out. Miss. Now a tie. 1 run off, 1 ball required for the win for Thunder. And the coach tells everyone to go in. There was an opportunity there for a run out. Shakira, one of the best fielders in ladies cricket, unfortunately failing to hit bullseye. Some wise words there from Maria Nyende to Irene Alumo. They only need 1 run. It's now or never for them. If they don't get a single, we go for a super over.
Irene Alumo hits that hard. Unfortunately for her, the youngster Lona does not complete that fielding, and with that misfield allows the batters to scamper through for a single, and that brings an end to what has been an exciting first fixture of this Elite League at the Lugogo Cricket Oval. Irene Alumo and Mary Nyende managed to get their team Thunder right over the line, picking up a victory first up in this tournament.
Very good work there, brave fight there from the Titans, especially at the innings. You thought that the Thunder had been able to, were going to walk away with it, especially when Stefani Nampina started laying into that attack of the Titans. But the youngsters, Lona and Asmin Akrut, picked up some key wickets. They dragged back the game in the favor of the Titans. But unfortunately, Lona, if she was able to do a good clean-up job there when the ball was hit back to her, could have tied the game and go for the super over. But unfortunately, the Thunder ran away with it. By the barest of margins, they pick up the first win of the tournament. A good one for them at that. The Titans will now have to regroup for their second game in the afternoon. There's not a lot of time for them to be able to recover from that defeat. A good game, the first game. This is day 1 of the Ladies Elite League, and a good win for the Thunder. Janet Mbabas and her side will go into that lunch break, the more motivated side, as they wait for their second game in the afternoon. The afternoon, the Elite League